Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I think we need a louder good evening. Look at the person seated next to me. With the kind of work he's done, he deserves a massive, massive applause. Thank you. Thank you. Now that sets the tone for this session. So welcome, Mr. Patnaik. Welcome to PILF. Devdutt Patnaik needs no introduction, yet I'm compelled to give it as the moderator of the session. A writer, a mythologist, a physician, and a leadership consultant. Can it get any better than that? A man who has interpreted ancient scriptures and gelled the Vedic knowledge seamlessly with the management mantras. A prolific writer by every standard, every genre possible. It is an honor to introduce him to you, a man who has achieved signature in undoing the boundaries of time and space of storytelling. So my first question to you, Devdutt, your medical education and the experience with pharma, and then a sharp oblique towards what you do now. When did this drift and why did this drift begin?
मला मराठीत बोलायचं होतं पण मी सांगितलं की No, I'll mix because we're a diverse country, so we have to respect all languages, including English, Hindi, Marathi, Odia. So I'll mix all of it, and I'm sure we are Indians, so we can handle all the languages, right? Yeah, we should not be narrow-minded and stick to one. So see, it's not really an oblique turn. I was doing both of them simultaneously. So I passed out of medicine a long, long time ago, and I worked in the pharma industry. But my free time, so I used to work during the day. I would work I was working for the company. How many of you all take Combiflam? Yeah. So that's the company I used to work for. But not in that division. And I worked in the pharma industry. I'm not a clinician. I worked in the pharma industry, in the sales, marketing, training, everything. And I worked with a lot of multinational companies. I worked with Germans, French. So that was my day job. So Monday to Friday, I'm selling drugs. And Saturday, Sunday, you come back home, and some people like to drink, some like to party. I like to read Ramayana and Mahabharata. So I was one of those nerds who like to do it, because I would find all the solutions to my problems in Ramayana and Mahabharata, in the Purans, and I would share it with my friends. And this was something that I would do in my free time, and then I started writing columns on it. I used to write columns from college days. One thing led to another, and somebody wanted to publish a book, and I said, I'll do it. And it's all happening parallel, so right? Because I don't know, many people don't realize that book doesn't make you money. Well, I thought when I wrote my first book that it'll be a bestseller and I'll have so much money. The 300 copies sold. That was 20 years ago. So you have to do a full-time job. And for about 10 years, I was doing a job in the daytime. In the evening, I would write my book. So I've written about 20 books around that time. And it was something that I used to do. I enjoy writing books. I'll keep writing books even. But then one day, a gentleman called, Corporate Dossier magazine, which is a ET-based magazine, they suddenly said, can you write something related to management? Because I happened to be talking in a party and was explaining to someone something using mythology. And then they said, will you write something for us? And I wrote it, and the series became very successful. That time I was working with Ernst & Young. So I'm working as a brand advisor, a business advisor, sorry. And that's when Kishore Biyani met me. And he liked my work. And he said, will you be part of my think tank? I couldn't believe it. Like I was not as young. I was like 40 at that time. So at the age of 40, you're being told you want to be a part of a think tank. You're like, but what? What will I do? He said, mythology karna. So I thought he was cracking a joke. And he literally gave me a blank check, and I put a number in it, which was 3 times my salary. I said, no, it's also a Marwadi businessman in front of you. उससे तुम्हें अपना मूल्य पता चलता है. I always trust the Marwadi businessmen because they have a sense of business. So I said, if I'm really good, he'll pay me so much. Of course, many years later, he told me, "Devdutt, itna hi kam pucha." And he is the one who told me, "Devdutt, tum jo kar rahe ho, theek kar rahe ho. You just do it. You just continue doing what you're doing. I'll support you. And I need your thinking." Because I really didn't do a job. A think tank is not a job. It's you sort of discuss and you really don't know what the person wants. It's a very complex, it's very difficult to explain a think tank. It's almost like you're going every day to have, chai pe charcha. And getting paid for it. A lot. So, I like money, so I'm sorry. So I sort of did that, and then that led to one thing, led to the other, and then suddenly I realized I was making enough money, I didn't have to go to do a day job. So I decided to do this full time, and the advantage of it is time. Because I got the time to think. The Business Sutra was a result of my working with the Future Group. So that thing, and then of course after that I worked with the Reliance Group for a long time, and then, but then I always was freelance after that. I was like, I told everyone that I'll do it on my own and on my own terms, and then Star TV supported me. So so Star TV supported me, and so now it has become this full time. But it's full time only for the last, I would say, 8 years. So the video where I looked so slim, 2009, is exactly the time when Kishore Biyani, roughly the time when the sort of the tipping point took place. But I was writing for 10 years before that. So I know people who have seen my work, and it was only in the people who are in marketing and quality market research. So someone like Santosh Desai and all that, people like in Mica. So all the semiotic people knew me a lot. But it was a very small group. It was not popular. And the real popularity really happens with Devlok. Because then Hindi came. In India, once you speak Hindi, so the ratio changes. It's 1:10. So it's reverse for the financial gains. For popularity, Hindi is great, but for commercial success, English is great. So unfortunately or fortunately.
So we always thought, that your book writing began with a sabbatical, but it's a revelation to us that, while you were in the job, you started this. And then your medical education, and with that experience, you felt that there was some sort of semblance that worked to your benefit when you were writing mythology? What was the semblance? Where did you find that element, that thread of commonality?
Between mythology
and your medical education?
You see, medical like engineering and medical and all that, it is a way of thinking, so scientific way of thinking. So you think in a particular way.
Right.
So for example, because I was trained in medicine, if you see my first book, it's written almost like, is there anybody who's a medical student here? No. Okay. So there are books like Chaurasia and all that, where you have to study the human anatomy. So the first question you ask is define it, location.
Yes.
Then it's broken down into little pieces. What is the physiology? What is the blah, blah, blah. It's a process which you follow. Every organ is studied in a particular way. So I started studying the gods like that.
Okay.
So who is Shiva? What does he wear? What are his stories? What are his rituals? So rituals, symbols, stories. So if you read my early books, they are written with a rigor of a science student. You sort of put it down. And so it's sort of, when I wrote a Shiva book, it was not so complex. But when I wrote the Vishnu book, which was the second book, which my publisher said, "Abhi tum Shiv ji ke upar likho ho, tum Vishnu ke upar likho." When I started writing the Vishnu book, you suddenly start seeing the pattern. And in a way, the pattern started to emerge. So this is what medicine training gave. One thing it helped me is see structures and patterns, because a good doctor is always structural. Also, good thing is that it would not have happened if I had studied engineering.
Okay.
You know what is the fundamental difference between engineering and medicine is that medicine deals with human beings. In engineering, you deal with objects. Objects don't complain.
Yes.
Human beings do.
Yes.
That's a big difference.
Yes.
जो मनुष्य होता है उसको तकलीफ होती है, उसे दर्द होता है. आप नहीं बोल सकते कि अच्छा ये दवाई ले लो ठीक हो जाएगा. ऐसे नहीं होता है. आपका टीवी काम नहीं कर रहा तो दो उसको मारो ठीक से ठीक हो जाएगा. बट ऐसे नहीं होता है. आदमी, when you're looking at a disease, it's not just a pathology. It's complex process.
Yes.
So my understanding of human psychology became very deep.
Okay.
You understand, for example, as a medical student, you are in the emergency room, you see people dying, and after some time you just don't think. You spend the first year of medicine cutting a human body. So every part of a human body has been cut by these hands. You have to. You have no choice. They want to train you कि तुमको देखना पड़ेगा ये सब. I have seen victims of dowry deaths. वो जला के उनको मारना. It's you can never see a human being burnt is the worst. I have seen when I was working in the gynec ward, young, for the first time in our lives, you are young boys sitting, Bombay based, and you are being told, Acha, this girl has been sexually molested, and it's like 4-year-old.
Yeah.
And you are like, okay.
It hits you.
Because you have never experienced it. You are young. कहाँ और some TV, WhatsApp, थोड़ी था. WhatsApp university तो था ही नहीं.
Thankfully. Thankfully nahi tha.
So you see this and it's very shocking. And then, you know, when you deliver babies, and I always tell people, I have delivered 20 babies. You will not be the same person after you deliver 20 babies, and you'll respect women and you'll say like, listen, if somebody says, kuch nahi hota hai, I say, go to a labor ward.
It's overrated.
So all that plays a role because when you start writing mythology, you're reading human condition. It's not numbers.
Okay.
It's not physics, chemistry. It is psychology, pain, suffering. So all that has played now I realize it. See, when I started, I didn't realize it. अभी 20 साल बाद जब सफेद दाढ़ी हो जाती है, तो अब सोचने लगते हो, वानप्रस्थ आ रहा है. So you start thinking, you know, what is the impact of your life, and questions like this make you think, and you realize कि जब तक आपका जो education होता है, विज्ञान होता है, one helps you think. It gives you empathy. So my critical thinking, critical empathy, all has come from my training. Really, it has come from my training. And also things, subjects, मैं शिखंडी के ऊपर लिखता हूँ and all that. The thing is, just because you're a doctor, you just understand anatomy better.
Yes, yes.
You know, when I was in school, I used to read अमर चित्र कथा और वहाँ पे एक word होता था eunuch. उसका मतलब क्या है?
उसका मतलब क्या है?
Hermaphrodite. People will use it so casually. Even today, I know so many adults who use these words, and I'm like,
and sadly, with very negative connotations too. It's a state of mind. It's a state of body. It's perfectly fine.
But you know, humans are humans, right?
Humans
they will not humans. They are not like आपने एक database बदल दिया, उसके brain में chip बदल दिया. ऐसे नहीं होने वाला है. Every, you know, even the smartest man's child will be born stupid. Absolutely. And that is the horror of smart people, right?
Yeah. I hope my son is sitting in the audience. मेरे बीच से ये बच्चा निकला है.
I mean, the best thing is to do is watch successful businessmen and actors and look at them talking to their children.
Yeah.
You can see that sense of failure.
Yeah.
ये मुझसे निकला है. And the wife is looking and saying, आपसे नहीं निकला है, मुझसे निकला है.
But it's the other way around in our household. He says, तुम्हारा बेटा. And I say, तुम्हारी बेटी. As if we bore them singularly.
So that's the kind of thing. So, yeah, I think it sort of impacts your life. Everything sort of.
So coming to a question which is a subject which is grossly misunderstood is the difference between mythology and mythological fiction, where mythology is basically has an academic base to it.
Yeah.
Mythological fiction is something which has an element of fantasy attached to it. How are they different, and how do you see that literature?
So let me give you, how many of you all have seen a television serial called Good Omens? Or Supernatural, or a zombie flick, or a Dracula movie. So these are mythological fictions because they are based on the idea of God and devil. Now God and devil are mythological concepts. So Bible, Quran talks of God and devil. So that will be considered mythology. Mythological fiction will be these films like Vampire, Angels, Undead, all those horror movies where devils and demons and hell happens. Son of Devil, Vampire, what is that recently? Lucifer serial on television. All these are fantasies based on a mythological framework.
Adding your own dimensions to them.
Yeah. So a mythological story is a cultural truth communicated through stories, symbols and rituals.
Okay.
That's the technical term.
Okay.
So it's a cultural truth. That tribe thinks the world is like this. That if a tribe says, I believe the earth rests on the back of a turtle, it is their truth. Some people believe there is a God who created the world. That is their truth. Some people believe a God did not create the world. That is their truth. So, this worldview is a myth. It's what helps you cope with life. There is no human being can live without a myth, because a myth is the assumption that shapes your life. All your morality, your ethics, your sense of order. When somebody tells me that I'm an atheist, I don't believe in God, I said, do you believe in justice? And he says, yeah, I believe in justice. I said, wo myth hai na. There is no, you can't measure justice. Nobody on earth can measure justice. So, is equality an assumption or true? So, my favorite line is, fact is everybody's truth. Fiction is nobody's truth. And myth is somebody's truth.
Yes.
Easy to understand, easy to access. And then you start understanding ki, acha nahi, abhi when Jnaneshwar is writing the Jnaneshwari, he is not telling everybody's truth. He is sharing his truth with you, which is profound and deep and born of great suffering and wisdom, and uska sach hai. Don't try to apply your modern things to it. Stephen Hawking, when he writes something on time and space, it's his truth. I always tell people, Stephen Hawking is a physicist. He has never ever studied biology.
Yes.
He has never studied psychology. He knows the world. He doesn't know life. बहुत फर्क है.
बहुत फर्क है. There's a sharp oblique there.
These are things that so mythology is that study, and mythological fiction is I take the story which is inherited and I put my spin to it. I take a character, I take a plot, and I put my politics in it. That's mythological fiction, which is the prerogative of a writer. They have a right to do it. It's literary. Nikos Kazantzakis wrote this fantastic book called Last Temptation of Christ. And I have always loved it. It was the early influence in my life, long before I thought I'll be a mythologist or something like that. And that he describes the love of God as a vulture's claw. I mean, ऐसा description मैंने कभी जिंदगी में नहीं सुना था कि वो गिद्ध का जो that claw is there. It says it tears through my skull and reaches out for my heart. This is how he describes the love of God. This is Nikos. It is not a biblical line. Bible में ऐसे नहीं बोलेंगे. Of course, it's a very controversial book. I don't know if you all have read this book, or it's a film also. It's a film done by Martin Scorsese. And it talks about the last temptation of Christ. That's a mythological fiction. It's not the Bible. Bible is Bible, and Last Temptation of Christ is Last Temptation of Christ. It can be identified to Nikos Kazantzakis, who's a Greek writer. What we are reading is his translation in English. So it is important to understand that वो Bible नहीं है. Separate the two.
Separate.
In our country, we make no difference. History is equal to mythology is equal to mythological fiction. कुछ भी चलता है.
But as picking a thread from what you just said, some truths are everybody's truths and then they become facts. Some truths are some people's truths and there they become myths. And some truths are nobody's truths, and that is what is fantasy is made of. How does myth transcend the boundary to become a fact?
No, myth will never be fact. It cannot and must. It cannot be fact.
But it is some people's truth.
Some people's, not everybody.
So it will never become a fact.
See, then you go into this missionary zeal. Everybody has to believe in Jesus. Everybody has to believe in equality.
Right.
Everybody has to believe in the universal doctrine of human rights. The moment you say everybody, violence starts. ऐसा ही हिंसा का शुरुआत होता है.
It is very tyrannical.
And it's dangerous कि सबको मेरे जैसे सोचना है. So everybody has to believe that God has a beard. When you go to Sistine Chapel, you'll see an old man with a beard and you're being told that's God. And you're like, बुड्ढा क्यों है? सफेद क्यों है? काला क्यों नहीं है? Why is it not a woman? Doesn't God have breasts? Last time I checked, she had. Several, in fact. I mean, why is it human? Why is it not looking like a pig? Oh, how can you
Why
say
can't it
pig?
look like an animal? Why?
Plant.
Yeah.
Why can't it be a plant? Who decided it should be a white old man? Ugly. I mean, have you seen that painting? It's hideous. But I'm supposed to like it because it's Michelangelo. It's ugly.
Because everybody likes it.
You're supposed to like it.
You're
and of
supposed
course,
to like
आप
it.
वो Sistine Chapel में हो तो I'm like, no, sorry. उसमें ना रस है, ना भाव है, ना चंदन है,
ना विलास है, ना श्रृंगार है,
विलास है,
ना श्रृंगार है।
तो वो कैसा भगवान बना?
वो कैसे?
ना संगीत है, ना नृत्य है. Now that's my truth. I can't impose it. I have no right to impose it on those for whom वो भगवान है. जो वहां पे जाते हैं उनकी भक्ति है,
Right.
वो उसकी भक्ति है. तुझे तकलीफ क्या? नहीं, सबको मोर पंख लगाना ही पड़ेगा. अरे, that is the same thing. ना, everybody has to believe in Jesus. Everybody has to believe in Krishna. Calm down. You know, this is where violence starts. Violence starts when you try to universalize myth. So one has to be very careful of this. And that's why you see the violence around. The violence is because I'm not willing to, I believe everybody's truth is better than somebody's truth.
Yes.
What does it mean? Your identity comes from somebody's truth. It doesn't come from everybody's truths. Everybody's truth takes away your identity. Everybody's truth is usually physics, chemistry, biology. Uske aage nahi. Mathematics. The most boring subject on earth. Ras bhara to hoga nahi.
Yeah.
But it says, no, math is so important. Have you met maths teachers? Music. Now you turn math into music, it gets beautiful. You turn it into tal and rag. Now it becomes exciting. Then life happens. But music is appreciated by some, not all.
Not all.
The moment you make it music, it is never universal. It is particular. This is where the difference happens. And that is a very important thing. Soul is not a fact. It is a myth. God is not a fact. It is a myth. Somebody told me, is Jesus historical? I'm like, Jesus may be historical. Christ is not. Christ is a mythological concept. It means anointed one.
Yeah.
Prophet Muhammad. Muhammad is definitely a historical based on various data. Compared to Jesus, definitely, because we have more information on him.
Right.
But prophet can never be a historical idea. Prophet is a mythological idea. It will always be a mythological idea. Kuch bhi bolo tum. Of course, nowadays, guns, trolls, then you agree with them. Bhaiya, tu jo bola sach hai. Because I call it troll-based scholarship. Troll-based scholarship, gun-based scholarship, and evidence-based scholarship. Different kinds of scholarship exist.
So whichever one.
Whichever
suits
works.
You. Whichever one suits you, suits me.
Yeah. No, it's the thing is, ultimately, why do you want to fight? Yeah, theek hai yaar, tu Shivaji.
But the arrogance of the present is the aversion to the past. There came a phase in between where the scriptures literally faced the fear of being eliminated. But suddenly they've come to acquire such a currency and they've become a very prominent trend. What do you think led to this kind of drift in terms of mythology?
See, in the 1950s, the Second World War had taken place, and there was so much of violence, so much of violence. The British Empire collapses. Nation states rise. The world is changing dramatically. You had moved, you see, people are thinking of we have to develop. So they said, primitive people have many gods. Then in the colonial era, they said, if you want to become modern, you have to have one god. But this one god did not stop the World War. So after the World War, people said, no, one god kuch nahi hai, bekar ka cheez hai, zero god. So from infinity to one to zero. From polytheism to monotheism to atheism. That's the big journey which happens in the 1950s. So across the world, you have got leaders saying that we have to create a new world order where religion takes a back burner. No polytheism, no monotheism, atheism. Now this becomes very interesting because when you remove God from the equation, remove spirituality from the equation, it's a problem. Because humans have created God for a reason, to cope with the complexity of life. जिंदगी को जीने के लिए केवल रोटी कपड़ा मकान से नहीं होता है. तुमको विश्वास चाहिए कि एक दिन सब कुछ ठीक होगा. नहीं होने वाला है, लेकिन आपको ये विश्वास होना चाहिए, नहीं तो तुम पागल हो जाओगे।
वो सुबह कभी तो आएगी।
एक तो आएगी, मुझे नहीं तो मेरे बेटे को दिखाई देगा, नहीं दिखाई देगा, लेकिन फिर भी विश्वास अटल है, वो इंपॉर्टेंट कॉन्सेप्ट है। यू हैव टू बिलीव, बिकॉज विश्वास जब तक नहीं होगा आदमी पागल हो जाएगा। सी, जानवरों को विश्वास की आवश्यकता नहीं, जानवरों को विश्वास देते हैं, खाते हैं, जीते हैं, चरते हैं, मरते हैं। मनुष्य को विश्वास चाहिए, किस चीज के ऊपर विश्वास, कि मेरा कुछ तो अच्छा भला होगा ना। हाँ होगा। अभी ये गुरुजी बन गए, या वो भगवान के पास मत्था टेक, because life is complicated, life is messy, life is unpredictable. And when life is messy and unpredictable and difficult to handle, what do? You need something to hold on to. And therefore myths play very important. In tribal cultures, in Bhil, or whether it is a Dang or the American Native Americans, everybody has a belief system to cope with the horror of life. That's what myth does. अभी तुमने उसको निकाल दिया, करिकुलम से निकाल दिया। नहीं, साइंस विल टीच यू, मैथ विल सॉल्व योर प्रॉब्लम्स। मैथ विल नॉट मेक यू फॉल इन लव। Your job, you may have the best job in the world, you may have all the money in the world, but you cannot win the heart of that beautiful girl in the college. The poet will just sing beautifully and he'll win. मेरे पास पैसा है, ये है, बंगला है, तेरे पास क्या है? The famous dialogue.
So the math will
मेरे पास
make you fall
girlfriend है।
out of love. Okay, taking a thread from that, you just spoke about Vishwas. We didn't speak about this earlier, but what is the difference between faith and trust?
Just semantics.
Just semantics?
Yeah. It's a
Nothing?
detailed either udhar. I trust you.
And I have
in you.
faith.
So I don't, this is a higher splitting thing. Vishwas is Vishwas.
Vishwas
Belief,
is
faith,
Vishwas.
trust, उसको एक ही basket में
It could be subjective or objective.
Yeah,
but
you know,
yes.
it's like when you read Wittgenstein, he tells about the language cannot really communicate everything. So it's very sad that we are trying to get one meaning that everybody will agree on. It won't. We will all use the same word but differently. Family of languages. If you philosophy students would know. So Wittgenstein talks about the family of languages. I mean, what little I know of him. So we cannot communicate things with exactness. Never. So when people do hair splitting arguments on words, I'm like, ऐसा थोड़ी ना होता है। जो बोलता है, जो सुनता है, जो समझता है, उसमें इतना डिफरेंस होता है। It is not like if you copy paste, you can copy paste anything. But human mind के copy paste कभी नहीं कर सकते हो। इसलिए the word in Sanskrit is sanskar. Sanskar is impression. Like this. You can never create the same impression. You try to do anywhere in the paper and try to recreate a fingerprint again. You can't.
Although supposed to be unique.
The fingerprint is unique, but
Yes.
I'm saying the impression, you look at it and I'll give you ink and I'll say now exactly वैसे एक thumbprint बना. You can't, because the pressure sometimes इधर ज़्यादा होगा, इधर कम होगा. So a machine will say it is the same, but your eye will never catch it. Impressions, sanskar, which is used, is a very different meaning. And we don't realize it will never be objective. Never.
Never, yeah.
So measuring tools will create objective reality. Like, nowadays artificial intelligence, they're all trying to create perfection. This world where there'll be no problems. No, it won't be a world of humans. They are trying to create a machine. Humans are, because we are flawed.
Yeah.
Nobody wants a perfect boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife or child. If you had a perfect husband, you would want to murder them. Because you will always feel inferior to them. Imagine your partner is perfect. मैं तो उसको जला दूंगा. Nonsense. Gets up early in the morning, does exercise every day.
Perfect probably for the neighbor's wife, but not for me. For the neighbor's wife, he's very perfect.
You see, why should you wish that the neighbor's wife should be perfect is for all the right reasons. Because the neighbor is always unhappy. Because he'll be always coming and complaining, अरे वो कितनी perfect है यार, मेरे को नहीं अच्छा लगता है वो. Because she will make your life miserable. रोबो होगी वो. Because उसका कभी नहीं भूलेगी कुछ बात. You cannot tell her, नहीं, हमने discuss किया था. Because she's perfect, right? She will remember everything. This is what we don't realize. So when I read Elon Musk's interview and all that, I'm like, human psychology padhna yaar. Because human beings are not like this. तुम लोग machine बन रहे हो. This is not human beings.
We are deeply flawed
lazy, and
people.
it's okay to be lazy. We are stupid. It's okay to be stupid. We are irritating. It's okay to be irritating. Tension मत ले. You know, it's okay. शिव जी को भी कभी तांडव करना पड़ता है. फिर उसके बाद वो थोड़ा फूक लेते हैं.
Isn't that going wonderfully well, isn't it? So what's the difference between the myths that abound in the East and the West, and how their fundamentally different set of beliefs shape the cultures?
So there are many different paradigms and structures and worldviews, but I like two structures. I mean, I use this because Indians connect with it the easiest. One is the linear structure. There's a beginning and an end. And the second structure is there's no beginning, there's no end. So the ideas which emerged in India and what shapes India is this. The idea that Anadi Ananta. Kuch shuruat, you don't know when things began and you don't know when things ended. So this is the Indian structure. The Western structure is, it started today, it will start here, it will end there. Right? That's the Western structure. Now it impacts greatly because everybody wants to save the world in their lifetime. कि मैं मरने के बाद सब प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व कर दूंगा. और इंडियन सन्यासी बोलेगा कि करते रहे, कुछ नहीं सॉल्व होगा. एंड वो आएगा जाएगा, कुछ सॉल्व होंगे, कोई लोग अच्छे होंगे, some people will grow, some people will degrow, things will be good, some people it will be bad, economy will rise but your heart will break. कुछ भी हो सकता है. This wave pattern, it's like an orchestra of music which is happening. Which is an Indian way of thinking, which is very different from the world. When we say global thinking is Western thinking. You know, so Gora hoga to wo sahi bolega. Like in India, I mean, I'm surprised with the number of people who, like, if a Gora will say Vedas are real. White man said
God.
देखा उसने भी बोला वेदा ठीक है. You brown skinned person, I'm like, I'll get someone from Nigeria to say it. Oh, nahi impact
You wait
hoega.
and
We
see.
racists, we want our
We
white
are
skin.
racist. Ask me, I do these workshops, and when Gora is doing a workshop with me, his fee is 10 times more than me.
Absolutely. So that is the reality we unfortunately have to live with. It's there. Abhi tension kya lena hai to hai. But you know, when I go to international conferences, I have this one thing to rattle people. So I will say, how many in the room believe in equality? And then of course everybody will raise their hands very slowly like that, because there are women in the room, so every guy wants to show that, no, I'm a feminist, I'm a feminist, I'm a feminist. Then I say that, okay, how many of you all believe in diversity? Now the people will start raising their hands, because that's the in thing in every corporate workshop. Then I say, but equality and diversity are the opposites of each other. And the room goes quiet like this.
Because they're
कोई
bipolar.
Because सोचा नहीं है ना, equality का मतलब क्या है? After some time, at a common man level, not at some sophisticated university professor level, जनसाधारण को equality का मतलब धीरे धीरे करके वो homogeneity और uniformity की तरफ चला जाएगा. Because सब लोग एक जैसे दाढ़ी बनाएंगे, एक जैसे कपड़ा पहनेंगे, एक जैसा पूजा करेंगे, एक जैसे भगवान को करेंगे, एक ही भगवान होगा, सब एक जैसा होगा, copy paste, it's efficient.
One rank pension.
One rank, everything will be one.
Yeah, one rank pension, yeah.
Diversity, फिर नहीं होगा ना. You will remove all the diversity because equality is efficient.
Yes.
It is efficient. The moment you come to the world of diversity, diversity is inefficient. No businessman on earth likes diversity. They hate it. They want, because it is so easy to deal with people like you, na? मेरे जैसे अगर सोचता तो कितना अच्छा होता. So they want copy paste, clone. It makes business sense. Unfortunately, it's not long-term strategy. It's good for short-term strategy. And these complex thinking, only Indians will understand. Because we live in diversity. हमको पता है diversity का मतलब क्या है. Harvard में समझ में नहीं आता है. Because your notion of diversity is to have 7 men photographed, but one of them has to be black, one of them has to be Chinese. एक औरत को भी डाल दो.
हाँ, I know.
और आजकल थोड़ा एक वो ट्रांसजेंडर को भी डाल दो.
हाँ.
वो फोटोग्राफ से आपको डाइवर्सिटी समझ में आता है. डाइवर्सिटी इन इंडिया इज वेरी डिफरेंट. उसका मतलब है तुम रास्ते में चल रहे हो, लेकिन द रास्ता लुक्स लाइक द सरफेस ऑफ द मून, देन इट लुक्स लाइक द सरफेस ऑफ सम अदर प्लैनेट. आज रास्ता है, कल रास्ता नहीं है.
Come to Haridwar.
हाँ.
There are no roads.
There are no roads.
There are no roads.
So we will swing across the Lakshman Jhula and come there. And whatever. What I'm saying
That
is.
is also closed.
Oh, thank you. What I'm saying is we know we live diversity. There is no choice. I have to speak in Hindi, Marathi, Gujarati in order to get my way through. हमको पता है diversity क्या है. It is very irritating. But तू uniformity impose करने चल, खा जाएंगे तेरे को.
हाँ.
Which अमेरिका को समझ में नहीं आएगा. उनको डोनाल्ड ट्रंप ठीक है.
हाँ, ठीक है. हाँ. तो जिन्होंने उसको चुना है वो ही माइंडसेट्स को बहुत कितनी अच्छी
इतना
तरह बता
अक्ल
देता
नहीं
है.
होता है. इतना नहीं है अक्ल. See, we are sort of spellbound
Yes.
by the linear one model because it's very efficient.
But the
Start,
rednecks.
finish, project plan, it's really good. I mean, I think linear when I'm doing books, right? Otherwise I can't work. But life is not linear.
Absolutely.
Project can be linear, and your life is not a project. Your wife cannot be a project. Your son cannot be a project because the son will say, okay, I'll go to America and never call you back. It's a very painful truth in India.
Right.
मुलगा कुठे आहे? न्यू जर्सीला.
Talking of sons, I suddenly remember the story about Ganesh and Kartikeya, the story about the world and my world. Why not for the audience? It is such an interesting.
See, it's a story that I've heard all my life. There's a famous story that Ganesha and Kartikeya had to go around the world. And Narad says that, there are different versions of the story, but broadly go around the world. And of course, we have heard the story that Kartikeya goes around the world. He goes around the mountains and the planets and the stars and the skies. And Ganpati goes around his parents. And everybody will say, Kiti sundar baal hai na Ganpati amsa. Because see, Ganpati, but you go to South India, where Murugan is the most important. They'll say, this is a fabricated story of North India. Because Murugan is the most important. Now, I started noticing, because when studying mythology, you keep saying that these stories are saying one thing is better than the other. You loving your parents is better than traveling.
Yeah.
Because Indian parents, na, तू बाहर मत जा, तू इधर ही रह. पार्टी क्यों जा रहा है? मैं तेरे को खाना बनाती हूँ ना. And Ganpati. So I could see that because, I saw that story and my mother is telling it to me repeatedly.
Yeah, I know.
And she usually would tell me the story every time, my friends would make a plan to go out, like overnight picnic chalte hain. Beta, तेरे को एक story बताती हूँ.
Because served her well. Because it's served her.
And also I look a little bit like Ganpati, so like, is तरह आजा. So I'm like, then you grow up and then you realize, no, let's think about the story deeper, deeper, deeper. And you realize, when you say the world, दुनिया क्या है? And then you in English, एक मेरी दुनिया होती है और एक दुनिया होती है. दुनिया और मेरी दुनिया में बहुत फर्क है. My world is a psychological concept.
Yes.
The world is an objective material concept, physical concept.
Yes.
So when I say Brahma created the world, or did Brahma create my world?
Not my world.
So now this is where the complex, these kind of nuance I didn't see because everybody would write presupposing the world is real and my world is not real. But for an ordinary man like you and me, for us, my world is more important than the world. I mean, the richest people in the world are more interested in their bank balance than climate change.
Right.
The world में तू जितना भी मोर्चा कर, मेरा profit देख. In Bombay, I mean, we are dealing with the array crisis. Metro पाहिजे की oxygen पाहिजे? Decide करा. Oxygen येणार हो, tension घेऊ नका. पण metro पाहिजे. नाहीतर आम्ही राजा कसे राहणार? So it is very clear that my world is far more important than the world to me.
To me.
And this, in English, when you start writing, it's a problem. Because in English, there's the definitive article called the. The truth. Translate in any Indian language. Bola. You won't get a word. You will have param satya. Param doesn't mean the.
The.
Param means complete, infinite, comprehensive. You have to use other words, but not the. The definitive part cannot be used. Then they will say the truth, बोला ekam is one, param is many, तो it is not fitting. So you're forcing this. You're forcing it's a false equivalence. Because the truth is a word which cannot be translated in any Indian language. Param Satya. Ekam Satya. Satya. So I started asking these fundamental questions. And I said, okay, when Ganesha is going around his parents, is he talking about Niji, Vyaktigat Sach, versus Dunya ka Sach? Kaun sa sach hai? And this makes it interesting now. So I just asked very basic questions. I'm like, why is going around the world wrong? Why is going around parents
Yes, I was
good?
coming to that question. Yeah.
These are the questions that, and then you realize it is the big divide between faith and science, which the West sees, कि ये विज्ञान है और ये विश्वास है, और इन दोनों के बीच में 36 का आंकड़ा है. That they will never get along, and that's an absurd idea spread by some white people. And the reason I'm saying is because all young people in engineering will read Richard Dawkins. हाँ, देख कितना सच बोला वो science. He's selling science like religion. Why are you selling science like religion? Science is not supposed to replace faith.
Yes.
They are just different ways of looking at the same world. There's a Ganesha method, there is a Murugan method. Both matter to Shiva and Shakti. That is the Indian approach.
That's
But हमको कौन पूछता है? That is the thing. Na? This is where we use words like hegemony, Western hegemony. That's why I'm very sharp. The only reason is to, not because I hate them or anything. I like white people also, I'm sorry. I have white friends. But that's not the point. The point is to shake people of this assumption that the benchmark of thinking comes from the West. It doesn't.
It does.
Currently, it comes from China.
That's a shocker. Okay, coming to scientific thinking, you're using lots of Venn diagrams, bullet points, flow charts in your writing, which is a very innovative way. But don't you ever feel that people find it didactic at times?
See, my market is children who have been educated in science and engineering.
So it works there.
So it works. कैसे समझाओगे उसको? Bullet point डाल. My basics was this. I realized that people buy guidebooks a lot. वो 21 क्वेश्चन सेट मैंने देखा, मैंने बोला मैं महाभारत को ऐसे ही लिखूंगा. 21 क्वेश्चन से बुलेट पॉइंट डालो, बड़े बड़े हेडिंग्स डालो, हाइपर करके दे बॉक्स डालो. See my book, it is just
Most
like
probable
those
questions.
most probable questions. So it's basically Mahabharat for dummies.
So how would you compare the Ramayana with the Mahabharata? You've spoken extensively about that. What are the points of comparison between the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, according to you?
See, at a very fundamental level, they tell the same story. Step one is Ramayana Mahabharata में कोई फर्क नहीं है. At a structural level. But of course, when you look at it, it's what nonsense. Ram थोड़ी dance करता है. Krishna dance करता है. So it's very obvious the difference is there.
Right.
But both are dealing with the same question. They are dealing with the question, मेरा का मतलब क्या है? ये मेरा है. You know, in America, one of the right to property होता है ना, property. ये मेरा है, ये मेरी जायदाद है, ये मेरी पत्नी है. मेरा और तेरा का डायलॉग इस रामायण महाभारत में हो रहा है. हे माझं, हे तुझं, हे लाईन इथे. Now, what does that mean? म्हणून लक्ष्मण रेखा. Now, लक्ष्मण रेखा की इथे माझी बायको, तिथे परस्त्री. तो माझी आणि this line, this division is being discussed in the Ramayana. मेरा बेटा, मेरा राज्य, मेरी पत्नी. And Ravan says, तेरी पत्नी भी मेरी पत्नी. इतना टेंशन क्यों लेने का? And you know, Ravan is glamorous, right? He is like 10 heads, 20 hands, golden city, private jet.
He is the Kingfisher guy. He is the Kingfisher guy, isn't he?
तो प्रॉब्लम क्या है? I mean,
Problem क्या है?
you are eating पर्णप कुटीर में रह के You know, they'll go to Nashik and say, "Ithe Parnakutir vanavla hota Ramani." And I'm like, Parnakutir eating some little berries. And वो तेरे को ऐसे आलीशान मकान में लेके जा रहा है. It sounds logical, right? Mathematical, Shaadi.com में तो इस तरफ जाएगी.
Naturally.
But life is not like that. No, I keep telling people, darling, you're an engineer. You can't create a formula for a girl to fall in love with you. Sorry, it doesn't work. ये algorithm से मैं लड़की को पटाऊंगा. नहीं होने वाला है. थोड़ा गाना वाना सीखना पड़ेगा. थोड़ा psychology सीखना पड़ेगा. And most importantly, you have to realize that she is more important than you. Very difficult for the Indian male.
Yes, absolutely. There's a deep vein of ego there. Very deep vein of ego.
बचपन से आपको बताया गया है कि तू तो मेरा राजा है, तू तो थोड़ी ना पता था कि पत्नी बोलेगी खाना पका. तो वो रामायण महाभारत में वो मैं और तेरा, that is the main confrontation. So when you see Mahabharat also, you are seeing the Pandavas and the Kauravas dealing with this one question: is what is mine, what is yours? So in Bhagavad Gita also, the first paragraph where Dhritarashtra is talking, what does Dhritarashtra say? He says, धर्म क्षेत्र में मेरे बेटे, मम, मेरे बेटे और पांडु के बेटे. Now if you have not read the Mahabharat, you will not realize who are these Pandus? That they are Dhritarashtra's sons. I mean, Dhritarashtra's brother's sons, मतलब उसके भाई के बेटे हैं. But he uses the word पांडु के बेटे. मेरे नहीं है, पराये हैं. That is how you are expressing परायापन. वो संजय को नहीं बोल रहा है कि मेरे बेटे और मेरे भतीजों में लड़ाई क्यों हो रही है. वो बोल रहा है मेरे बेटों में, between my sons and Pandu's sons, not my nephews.
The relational aspect is completely ruled
तो ये
out.
मेरा पराया का सेंटेंस आ गया यहाँ पे. It is exactly what Kaikeyi is doing. मेरा बेटा राजा रहेगा. मेरा, मेरे कोख से जन्मा हुआ. I love Ram and everything, but वो मेरा नहीं है. So मेरा concept, मेरा बेटा राजा बनेगा. Sounds familiar? Modern society, dynastic politics, मेरा पार्टी. देश, पार्टी, फैमिली. वैसे ही होता है. I keep looking at people, I said, you're fighting for the party or fighting for the country?
Party.
It is always party. मेरा party is far more important. Within the party, मेरा बेटा.
Party is important because I am important. That is why party.
Ultimately, I am important. So
Yeah,
therefore,
ultimately
Ramayana, Mahabharata, by talking about Mera, they are talking about Ahankar.
Yeah, the
And they-
nucleus.
Yes. So they are talking about Ahankar, and therefore they are talking about the Upanishads. So the Upanishadic concept of Ahankar and Atma को समझाने के लोगों तक पहुंचाने के लिए पंचम वेद बनाया गया. रामायण महाभारत नैमिषारण्य में बैठ के कथावाचकों ने एक्सेसिबल बनाया. 21 question set. This is what Vyas and Valmiki are doing. They are trying to explain वो जो अष्टवक्र लिखा है, याज्ञवल्क्य लिखा है, जो तुमको समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, हम आसान बनाते हैं. रामायण महाभारत, तू मेरा जब शब्द आता है, वो मेरा, that's the only one word, that's all it is. You go into आध्यात्म का मतलब है to understand मेरा क्या है, तेरा क्या है. And then the life gets very difficult. Because you see, how they'll explain in simple words. And this is लोक कथा. शिव जी के पास रावण जाता है, बोलते और रुद्र वीणा लगा के रुद्र स्तोत्र करके महान गाता है. तो शिव जी बोलते वाह वाह वाह, क्या चाहिए? सर आपकी पत्नी बहुत सुंदर है, क्या मैं उससे शादी कर सकता हूं? शिव जी ने कहा शादी कर लो. और वो फूंकने लगे. शिव जी की पत्नी ने बगल में बैठी थी, ये लिखला भोलेनाथ. एंड शिव जी उनको देख के कहते हैं ये मेरा शब्द बहन मुझे समझाओ. Are you my property? Are you my property that I can give you to someone? Why did you assume that I own you? Isn't this feminism? फूंकने वाला शंकर भोलेनाथ ने समझा दिया फेमिनिज्म एक शब्द में कि भैया पत्नी तुम्हारी जायदाद नहीं होती है कि तू मेरे को पूछ रहा है मेरे को तेरी पत्नी से शादी. तो शिव जी बोला ले लेना, दुर्गा है, सर काट देगी. But details are in the fine print. मैं बोलने नहीं वाला. So I saw people like gasp when I said बहन. that was done very deliberately. Because in the Shastras, Patni, Behan have not the same meaning as you do, you're thinking. They are talking about relationship. क्या बहन तुम्हारा प्रॉपर्टी है? तो जब सूर्पणखा का नाक कटता है, तुम्हें टेंशन क्या? ये मेरी बहन है, इसलिए प्रॉब्लम है. तुमने मेरे ऊपर वार किया है. तो लक्ष्मण ने ना कर, वो तेरा भाई है, मतलब तूने ही वार किया है, इसलिए मैं तेरी पत्नी को लेके जाऊंगा. ओ माय गॉड, इतना कॉम्प्लिकेटेड एल्गोरिथम.
वेन डायग्राम बन सकता है.
So Ramayana in Venn diagrams, next project.
Yes.
No, see the thing is when
my
you
name should be there in the acknowledgements.
The thing is we have to understand this word that इतनी सरलता से समझाते हैं ना, then you understand magic क्या है. शिवजी को गांजा लेने वाला भोलेनाथ क्यों बोल रहे हैं? Not to make people marijuana addicts. That is like saying Ram should have 6 packs. It is to understand the idea. शिवजी को भोलेनाथ का मतलब उसको मेरा शब्द समझ में ही नहीं आता. Should explain to me this meaning मेरा. ये किसको बेनिफिट कर रहा है? And that's all he's saying. कि समझा यार, मेरी शादी means you are my wife means what? Means what? Explain to me. Do like Ravan is saying आपकी पत्नी मुझे दीजिए, and he's like वो है नहीं मेरी देने के लिए, लेकिन लेना है तो ले. Because he is looking at her as an entity and an individual. Consent matters. It's a very complex conversation on consent, control, agency, words which are now very modern. You made the sentence, no? The past, we construct the past as something inferior. But when I read the Shiv Puran, मुझे feminism दिखाई दिया, मुझे humanism दिखाई दिया, मुझे spirituality, ये सब बातें समझ में आती है. But they do it in a different vocabulary. The structure is different. It is not the structure we are familiar with. तो शिवजी का वो जो this dialogue when he tells Ravan कि तुझे चाहिए ले ले, and the goddess is not getting angry with him. She says Ravan has to understand it. The same concept is in the Lakshman Rekha, the same concept is in the Sabha Parva when the gambling is taking place, and when Draupadi is asking the question, did you lose first or did you lose me first? Again she's talking about property rights. Yes. It is about मेरा. ये एक शब्द में पूरा भारतीय इतिहास, परंपरा, आध्यात्म एक ही शब्द में बैठा है, मेरा.
So like the management mantra of conflict spectrum goes, people are not against you, people are neither for you, they are for themselves.
Always.
That is what mera is.
Mera, and therefore Adhyatma and Atma Gyan is because our struggle is with mera. That is why we can't do charity, because how can I give away my property? That is why we don't make will in India. We don't make will, we are not charitable, because it's some insecurity which we have to work with. It's a psychological issue. It's not a policy issue. I always tell people, psychological issues cannot be solved through policy change. Biblical narratives, the Quran, are policy based. So God told you to do this. At a very structural level, it means policy. Bhagwan ne bola aise karne ke liye. Policy. Indian thought is not bothered with policy. It is only bothered with psychology. जैसे पॉलिसी आते जाते रहेंगे, अगर साइकोलॉजी ठीक नहीं है तो तू तो कुछ भी चीज को जला देगा. So these are the complex ideas in mythology. These are really sophisticated concepts, and I try to make them accessible. As the problem is when you make them accessible, people think that oh, इसमें क्या है, लिख लिया उसने, मैं भी लिख सकता हूँ, my Gita, मैं भी लिखता हूँ.
Anybody can. Yeah.
But it's that one word my over there, the use of mazha, maji, that word is so powerful. That is why I have deliberately put it there. My Gita, my Hanuman Chalisa, my Ved, my Ramayana, my Mahabharata. It is me. Because that is the greatest problem statement in the world.
My.
जब तक तुम वो शब्द नहीं सुनोगे, धृतराष्ट्र के जैसे बैठे रहोगे और कुरुक्षेत्र में युद्ध होता रहेगा जैसे पार्लियामेंट में हो रहा है. It will never change. This is true.
So when you're thinking of Maya and you're talking about it, you also spoken about the dharma, which is like the distribution of value, the artha, creating value, the karma, consuming it, and then moksha is outgrowing it. Where does the element of responsibility come in these?
Responsibility is dharma, very clearly.
Is dharma.
Dharma is very clearly about ऋण से मुक्त होने के लिए. So really in the old scriptures, moksha is not important at all. Moksha is part of dharma. It is only later when the celibate men became very powerful. You know, Mahant lobby becomes powerful, then moksha shastra becomes important. Otherwise, moksha shastra is a subset of dharma shastra. जब तक तुम ऋणी रहोगे तब तक तुम ऋणी इज रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. जब तक रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी रहोगे तुम दुनिया से संन्यास नहीं ले सकते, त्याग नहीं कर सकते. सो दिस इज द बिग कॉन्फ्लिक्ट बिटवीन ब्राह्मणिकल धर्मशास्त्रस एंड बुद्धिस्ट धम्मपद. बुद्धिस्ट धम्मपद इस दुनिया से मुक्ति पाना है. सो दे स्टार्ट द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ निर्वाण एंड वॉकिंग आउट ऑफ सोसाइटी. द ब्राह्मणिकल धर्मशास्त्रस आर सेइंग नहीं, दायित्व जो है, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी जो है, उसको तुमको सॉल्व करना है. सो दिस प्रोसेस ऑफ रिमूविंग रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी कम्स विद इन धर्म फॉर श्योर. दैट इज, तो जैसे पितृ ऋण होता है, सो प्रोड्यूस चिल्ड्रन, देयर इज गुरु ऋण, देयर इज ऋषि ऋण, देयर इज भूतर ऋण. डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ ऋण आर देयर विच यू हैव टू, जितना भी, जब तक तुम ऋणी हो तब तक तुम संसार में रहोगे. सो द मोमेंट आप धर्म से मुक्ति प्राप्त करते हो तो ऑटोमेटिकली मोक्ष की तरफ जाते हो. सो दैट इज ब्रॉडली थिंग्स.
You also spoke about the Jeev and the Ajeev and the Mahapanchbhut and adding value to each other. Please explain that to our audience. I'm sure they'll be very, very
I just want to check because
interested
we
in
don't,
that.
I don't want to overshoot the time.
Are
Yeah.
we? Are we?
Yeah,
Okay. Oh, it was going on so well that I just lost all track of time. So I guess it's all so charged over here. Do you want to ask a question? Yes, I'm sure there are going to be lots of questions. Can we keep that for later? Sorry, there's paucity of time. Although we are so charged, we need to. Yeah.
Okay.
We can.
Let's take two questions. One from this side, one from that side.
So, sir, you earlier spoke about consent between Parvati and, or rather, Shakti and Ravan and things like that. So, when we talk about the whole consent part and stuff, somewhere in the stories that we've heard about Krishna and his Ras Leelas and stuff, it talks about a particular scene or various incidences when Gopikas are taking a shower in the Yamuna river and Krishna takes away the, what do you say, the clothes and he hides away. So what exactly is that supposed to be interpreted as?
Have you ever flirted?
No.
If you did, you would understand.
But then does...
If you don't flirt, the joy of flirtation. But आजकल लोगों को जिसको प्यार नहीं आता है, then all flirtation becomes violation. And this is the times we live in when every act of flirtation becomes violation, it means madhurya ras chala gaya. And rasaheen jeevan, because can I sing a romantic song to you rather than just bursting into romantic song? Because if you burst into romantic sauce, it can be violation. I didn't want to hear it. This is the Kali Yuga, because we have now reached a point where every act of affection is violation. Every act of affection becomes violation. And who decides what is violation and affection? This is the complex conversation.
The recipient.
Because what the recipient, so imagine every child to whom you're doing choo 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 choo, you're violating the child. He'll grow up and say, जिसने भी मेरे को छुआ था बचपन में जेल में डालो. And dress me like a moron with those flowers and those black dots. उसका consent पूछा था. At what point do you start asking? You know, this whole idea, the recipient is such a nice idea. I mean, my parents must have violated me. ये ले, खाना खा, school jar, ragad. I don't want to go to school. Can't you hear? I'm not giving you consent. Every parent should be thrown in jail, which is happening in Northern Europe. If you hit your child even slightly, you will go to jail. And that is considered to be civilized. So one has to be very careful. I know where you're coming from. I've seen those memes. I look at the meme creator and say, तेरे को प्यार कभी नहीं मिला ना? कभी नहीं मिला. Flirt कभी नहीं किया तेरे को. I want people to flirt with me. Nobody flirted with me. Wait, I will turn every flirtation into a disgusting act. So every love song becomes violation. Everything becomes violation. The problem is we are not understanding it is two people at conversation. people make you, when is an act, when I say, you know, नाना करते प्यार तुम्ही से कर बैठे, कितनी गंदी गाना है. She, Surpanakha's nose is cut. What was she doing? Was she taking consent of Lakshman? Bolo na. Will you please marry me? उसने बोला ना ना करते नाक काट दिया. लफड़ा. So it crossed the line. It crossed the line of decency. But who was indecent is the conversation. One was violent. You can't be violent. He crossed the line. She crossed the line. Now it became tu meme. But both have crossed the line. The fact is, when you say one has crossed the line and the other has not crossed the line, the conversation is convoluted. This is how conversations have to be understood. Yeah?
So I think it.
I have one more question. I've read your book, Myth Equals to Mithya. So I just want to know, do you think there could be any other better word? Because that says Mithya means which is not truth.
हाँ.
Yeah. So
इंग्रजी मध्ये बोलतेस का मराठीत बोलतेस? सांग मला.
no. I'm saying that we have Vedas. They call it Vedas. They call it Purans. They call it Granth. So we have this kind of word which is now globally people are knowing it, accepting it, and maybe using it in an anglicized manner. So can we have do you think can ever be a better word which says that because it is someone's truth, it's not absolutely unreal or something, it's someone's truth. So there can be a word which doesn't say it's mithya.
What
It's
does
my
mithya
thought.
mean?
English word says it's unreal, something which cannot be,
Why did you accept the definition?
No, I'm just saying because it has been used. As you said, English
You know,
is
in
global.
the 19th century, what was the meaning of the word gay? In the 19th century, you all sang the song. And when I was in school, I sang a song called When You're Happy and You're Gay, Clap Your Hands. Now you can't sing that song. अर्थ बदलला ना,
Right.
मग टेन्शन का घेतेस? अर्थ बदल.
Yeah, but it's been perceived.
By whom?
The world, I guess.
Who is the world? You are the world.
My world.
Mera.
Why are you taking that right away from you? कोण सांगितलं? I feel it is mithya. Okay, let me explain now. Sorry.
Yeah.
After badgering you so much. But please
No
read the
worries.
book. आणि तिथे लिहिलंय मी.
Yeah.
The West sees truth as binary, this or that.
Yeah.
Indian, but that is West, no?
But global
East-
is West, matlab it's been taken, our literature, everything has been taken like that only.
तुला अमेरिकाला जायचंय का?
No, not at all. Not at all.
So this needs to come to.
I can see that. I can see that. Yeah. Yeah. The police people are coming. 1 minute, I'll answer because it's an important question, and then I'll go. Yeah. Mithya means a limited truth, and Satya means a limitless truth. No, true nahi. You were not agreeing because globally हे कळत नाही लोकांना. Science is not a fixed truth. Science keeps shifting over time because as your knowledge keeps increasing, your knowledge, Ved means knowledge, not truth. So your movement is from limited truth to limitless truth. Will you ever know everything limitless? Infinity cannot be captured in a measuring scale. म्हणून मिथ्यातून सत्य असतो मा सद्गमय. आता हे इंडियाचं ट्रूथ. I prefer India's truth. You prefer the global truth.
So this needs to draw to a close. We've had a fantastic session with Mr. Devdutt Pattanaik.